Well, the Senate's Gang of Eight may get the headlines, but the House has been moving quietly towards its own version of immigration reform, and it could be unveiled as early as next week. With me now, California Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff and Indiana Republican Congressman Luke Messer. Thank you for both being here on opening day. A Red Sox fan, are you allowed to admit that?
I am.
You are?
Very tall.
They're okay with this?
Eastern upbringing.
Fair enough. And you're being a Reds fan? That's okay. You're close.
That's right.
You're close. You can get away with it there in Indiana. All right, so happy opening day. Congressman Schiff, let me start with you with immigration. Where's the House on this, and what do you think the big differences are going to be between the House bill and the Senate bill? Everything I understand is the biggest difference has to do with what the path to citizenship looks like.
I think that's right, and as much as some of the senators have been signaling caution in the Senate, that's probably doubly so in the House. Immigration has become, up until this past election, the real third rail of American politics, certainly in the House. Very tough issue to deal with, and I think still going to be very hard for us, and it's difficult for me to see us getting the Senate bill or something like it through the House unless the Speaker deviates from the so-called half-stroke rule and allows to go without a majority of the majority conference. But that pathway to citizenship is the toughest issue in the House, and it's obviously an essential component of it.
Congressman Messer, is that a fair assessment that it is the path? I know proponents of the Gang of Eight tried to say, hey, the big deal between business and labor, that had undone it before. Okay, that's nice, but path to citizenship is still low.
I think that's right. It starts with border security, and you have to have a plan that makes people feel comfortable that we will have that kind of border security. But beyond that, it's the pathway to citizenship. And the real issue here is we have to make sure that those who've broken the law don't have a better path or an easier path than those who have followed the law.
Well, no one is suggesting, though, that they have a better, easier path, are they?
No, I don't think so. But,
I mean, both bills, the Senate bill and the House bill, both have some penalties.
But what that means under current law, as I understand it, that if you came here illegally, you would have to go back for 10 years, for example. I think the real question here is the length of time. I think most are starting to recognize that we need to get people out of the shadows and have a working guest worker process. But I think there's a big disagreement right now on whether that path to citizenship is going to be 5 years or 10 years or more.
Well, is 10 a fair compromise? Where are you? Is 10 okay?
I think that if people could apply if they could work right now and apply for citizenship in 10 years, I think that could be fair.
Is 10 a fair compromise?
10 is a lot longer than I would like to see, and I think most Democrats would like to see. At the same time, we want a comprehensive immigration reform, and I know that there are going to be things in the House package, certainly in the Senate package, probably a little better package, that I don't like and that many Democrats don't like. But we need to bring, as Luke said, we need to bring these 11 million folks out of the shadows. They have to be put on a path to citizenship. And this is going to be part of the give and take, but I think this is probably the toughest issue, that and whether there are triggers that allow the citizenship process to go through that are tied to border security. Tell
me this, Congressman Messer, among congressional Republicans, there's going to be a bill that they want to go through committee, get through, and pass, but should we be all doing what we're doing, which is watch this Senate Gang of Eight, and if it gets 75 votes in the Senate, that's the realistic bill?
I think clearly the conversations in the Senate are far more developed right now than they are in the House. You don't have a group of people meeting, at least in ways that are issuing press releases and the like.
True, although there has been a group meeting, in fairness to the House, right? A bipartisan group.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But I think if you see a bill come out of the Senate with a broad consensus, there's an opportunity in the House. I think it's important we recognize here, no one has a right to come to America illegally, but there are economic reasons for us to deal with this issue. There are reasons of compassion to try to deal with this issue as well, and I think we have an opportunity if people work together.
Congressman Schiff, we have an awkward situation coming up where the President's going to be releasing his budget after the Senate and the House have passed budgets. We've never had something like this before in sort of this modern era. So the President's budget, do you want it to be what message do you want him to send through the budget? Reaffirm where the Democratic principles are, reaffirm the Senate Democratic budget, which is essentially where House Democrats also came down on, or should it be the beginnings of an opening offer to the compromise?
Well, I think it should reflect really a balanced approach, as he has said, and
so reflect what you guys have already done.
What the President has put forward in the past, that includes new revenues, that also includes additional spending cuts, that takes a balanced approach that will get us to a balanced budget. But I don't think that the President can essentially negotiate against himself with the budget. And too often that's the position that Republicans want to put him in. Make him make the first step
So he should not have changed CPI.
Well,
he should not do these Medicare reforms in this
I don't think so, because the Republicans have criticized him, for example, for not embracing Simpson-Bowles. Had he embraced Simpson-Bowles, that would have become the floor. One of the GOP senators told me, who worked in the Gang of Six on this, that when the president said something positive about what they were doing, it just killed their work. So whatever he puts in his budget becomes the floor to negotiate. So I wouldn't have him go too far in the budget itself. It won't be reciprocated, in my view. One last point to Chuck on the immigration I just wanted to cap, and that is I think that the only way that the immigration bill ultimately moves forward is if the Senate package is taken up without amendments. If it's allowed to be amended in the House, it will just kill it.
And that's it. Congressman Messer, on the budget. The White House, is this the time to start the negotiations for the compromise? Or is it, you know what, look, set the spending levels that you want for the different agencies, because the appropriators do need that aspect, and let's have the negotiation in a couple more months.
Well, listen, I would believe that the House budget's pretty balanced approach. It's
obviously you believe that, and he believes it the other way.
$1 billion in increases over 10 years, 40% over the period. But I do think the president has an opportunity to lead here. You know, it was a great moment of outreach when he came and met with the House Republican caucus. He said during that meeting that, you know, if you looked at his website, you could see that he's for Medicare reform and things like chained CPI and the like. And you know, the point was made. You wouldn't have to go to his website to see that he's for gun control. You wouldn't have to go to his website to see that he needs immigration reform. He has an opportunity here to lead. I think, frankly, if he comes out and does, this is another area where there's real opportunities for major events this summer.
All right, I got to leave it there. Congressman Schiff from California. Good luck to your Red Sox this year. Congressman Messer, good luck to your Reds. I love watching Adonis Chapman. This new kid, Billy, what is his name? Jackie Bradley Jr. Excited with the Red Sox anyway. Thank you both.